Hi guys, and welcome to this short field short. With COVID not the threat it was, all countries are starting to reopen and becoming easier to fly into as a private pilot from the UK. However, Brexit means things aren't quite as they were, and after posting some images online of a flight I did to Calais recently, I got quite a few people wanting to know what documentation you need to visit France as a UK citizen in a UK registered private aircraft. This video will focus on the requirements for visiting Calais, which is Lima Foxtrot Alpha Charlie, from North Weald. Departing from other UK airfields to other destinations in France may require slightly different procedures, but they shouldn't be too different. Okay, once you've decided your destination and planned the route, check the forecast weather and any NOTAMs, operational times, licence, medical and aircraft documentation, plus any PPR requirements. The first thing I do is complete and submit a General Aviation Report, or GAR, for the return journey of my flight to the UK Border Force. This requires giving all the details of those on board, and for this you will need information from the passport of all those that are travelling. You can complete this online via the government portal, or even directly through your Skydemon app, or via a Rocket Route subscription. I'll leave all the links below. For French immigration, you need to fill in and submit a similar document, although this is via a PDF which you need to email to French Customs. I also like to send this form to the airfield of arrival. I'm not sure about other airfields in France, but Calais has a partially pre-filled form available on their website. Again, the details are below. I like to submit both these forms at least 24 hours beforehand, but if things change at short notice, just update them and send them again anytime before departure, but make sure you keep a copy. Okay, so it's time to create the ICAO flight plan. There's plenty of tutorials and examples online regarding filling these in, but if you have Skydemon, it will automatically recreate most of the ICAO flight plan for you based on your aircraft details, assuming you've created them, and your planned route. You can also submit, amend and close flight plans directly through the app. This is the easiest method, and although it costs a little bit of money to do it this way, in my opinion, it is the best option. Try to submit a flight plan at least 4 hours before your departure, but again, if things change, amendments and resubmissions can happen any time before the flight plan becomes active. If you do this very close to your desired departure time, you may have to wait for the flight plan to show up on the departing airfield system. Either that, or you may have to get it activated once airborne via the first appropriate controller. When creating the outbound flight plan, don't forget to create your return flight plan. I like to submit this at the same time so I don't forget, but changes and amendments can always be done at any time before activation. When entering your departure time, I always like to make it about 30 minutes to an hour before I actually intend to depart. Flight plans can be activated any time after the submitted departure time, but not before. And there's nothing worse than sitting around at an airport waiting to go because you decided to get back earlier. Once on the ground, it is your responsibility to ensure your flight plan has been closed. Often the destination controller will close it for you, or you can ask the FBO to close it, or if you created it in the Skydemon app, you can manually close it from there. This video is recorded on the 20th of March 2022, and as COVID rules are fluid, please ensure you check the latest requirements. France requires that to avoid isolating on arrival, all visitors from orange listed countries, and the UK is currently one of these, be triple vaccinated, or boosted as we call it here. Your NHS Covid App will suffice as proof, but I like to print it off as well just in case. At the time of recording, you will also need to fill in a signed declaration that you are not suffering from any COVID symptoms or been in contact with anyone showing symptoms or testing positive in the last 14 days prior to your visit. The form should be submitted via email to Customs along with your Customs entry details and printed off and brought with you to show at the border if requested. This was quite hard to find, but I used the one from the British Airways website and I've put the link below. If you plan to stay longer than a day, you will need to fill in a passenger locator form. Again, you can get this from the BA website. Since the 18th of March 2022, there is no longer any extra document requirements when travelling back into England from any other country. On arrival, you will normally go through the passport control channel. You will need to show your passport, which must have at least 3 months validity left on it after the date you plan to return to the UK, which will then be stamped by the officer with an entry stamp and the date. It is desirable that you also get a stamp when leaving to show your exit from the EU. You will also be asked for your COVID status, which will be checked. France is pretty laid back about mask wearing, and you can decide yourself if you feel more comfortable with or without one. But like here, try to be considerate, and if a sign requests you to wear one, then please comply. So that's it. Apart from the COVID requirements, cross-channel flights are pretty much as they were before Brexit. Obviously there are limitations on length of stay and your rights as a non-EU citizen, but for us, I'd say it's business as usual. With the new flying season now getting into swing, why not make your next trip a continental one? I can highly recommend Calais for either a day trip or as a customs entry point for trips further afield. They have a great restaurant and cafe. They're quieter than Le Touquet and closer, and they are very friendly and happy to see you. Take care guys, fly safely, and if you have any further questions, just stick them in the comments. Shortfield out.